Welcome to Ancestral Wisdom, where the wisdom of the past guides our future. Today, I'm going to officially start a series on how to practically celebrate pagan holidays. I touched upon that briefly in a previous video, in terms of the Balder mythos in the autumn, but I'd like to set out a practical guide to celebrate specific holidays as they come up. Now, every culture and every people and every tribe and every family will have a completely different version of the holidays that they celebrate. Completely understandable. All I'm putting forth here is my version of the holidays that I celebrate with my family that, of course, have historical sources which help us to understand them. So by no means take this as the only way to do things or the one way that our ancestors did these things, because none of that really exists. Even then, there was so much variation. And that's within the Norse or Germanic pagan world. If you include all of European paganism, every other day was a holiday for the ancient Romans, for example. So, the first holiday that I'm going to highlight for you, in order to understand the day that it falls on and the significance of it, you have to understand that ancient Germanic peoples had two calendars that operated simultaneously: a 12-month calendar, solar calendar similar to ours, although not exactly the same, and a 13-month calendar, a lunar calendar. The lunar calendar had regular days, so the first of every month was the same day of the week, for example, and the 13th of every month was always a Friday, Friday the 13th. And of course, since that lunar pagan calendar was much maligned by the Christians who despised the pagan religion, Friday the 13th, of course, became an unlucky day for them. But it was originally one of the most holy days of each month. And the way that it was conceptualized is that the month was the home of a particular god. If you've been watching this channel at all, you know that that means the essence of the symbolic force that's represented by that god was especially powerful or known or able to be felt and understood by the vibrational frequency of that particular month, right? So in 2 days, on March 4th, which will be the 13th of the Friday the 13th of one of the pagan months, which in the language would be Thudheimr, but is called in English home of might and strength, or the land of might, let's say. So we could conceptualize that. So it's the 4th of March, but it's the 13th of Thudheimr. So the land of might, or the land of strength, or the time in which that archetype is more easily seen and felt and understood. Now, as you might imagine, the god Thor is the god that is particularly representative of the month of might and strength. So, on March 4th, or the 13th of Thudheimr, you can celebrate Thor's holy day. So, Thor is the thunderer. He's the giant slayer. He's the force of order in the midst of chaos. He's the protector of the gods, the power of the will. And of course, if you would like a more in-depth understanding of Thor and the symbology of Thor, you can go to the video that I made on the Thurzaz rune, the third rune of the elder Thudar, and you can see that explained a little bit better. What can you do to celebrate Thor's holy day on March 4th? Well, one thing that you can do is you can hold a strength contest. That's always something that's fun to do to honor Thor, because Thor does embody inner strength, strength of mind, strength of willpower, and all of those come together when you are trying to strive for physical strength and physical perfection as much as you can. And so honoring the amount of physical uh, prowess that you've been able to achieve through your weight training and your exercise plans with a group of people in a strength contest is a wonderful way to celebrate this day. What else can you do? Well, Thor slays giants, right? He conquers the dragons of chaos. So you can find something in your life that you can symbolically label as a giant or a dragon or a force of chaos, and you can slay it. It can be as simple as that pile of bills that's been stacking up, uh, homework that you have that you have been neglecting, the yard work that you've been neglecting. The longer you let it wait, the bigger the giant gets, the bigger the dragon becomes. Slay it now on Thor's holy day in order to honor him. If you are, one thing that you can do is you can set aside a new piece of land for creating a garden or for building or planting or something of that nature, and you can call upon the archetypal power that Thor symbolizes to bless that land. So start a new garden. Um, if you use the no dig gardening method as I do, be as simple as putting down cardboard, throwing compost on top of it, letting the cardboard smother the weeds beneath, and then planting right into the thick layer of compost that you've put on top. You can also, in if you don't have a particular group or community with which to celebrate the strength that you've been able to achieve, or if you haven't been working on strength goals or physical health goals, you can take this day to plan and begin the implementation of a strength training or an exercise routine. And you can honor Thor in that way. So those are some of the suggestions that I have, some of the things that I've used in the past as starting off points to begin the celebration of this holiday. Please, in the comments below, let me know if you have any ideas as to how you have celebrated in the past or would celebrate Thor's holy day in the future. I'd be interested to hear your take on different ways to honor the essence of Thor in your life. Eus Thurisans, ansut raido kenas, gebo anjo agalas, audizisa yera. Iuas Petro elgas, soilotivas, percano manas, lagus invas degas, o thala.